Manchester United are still in the market for new signings. One interesting link is with a player compared to Eden Hazard. The Red Devils haven't had too much luck in wide areas over the past couple of seasons. Mason Greenwood was suspended by the club in January 2022, with Antony arriving that summer for a colossal fee of around £82 million to replace him on the right wing. Antony has been a huge disappointment, however. It's thought that United now want to replace Antony now, too, while Jadon Sancho has endured a tough spell at Old Trafford since his £73 million move. He now looks to be leaving on deadline day. The likes of Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho are both primarily left wingers, but both can turn their hand to playing on the right. Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount can also double up as wingers, too, but there is a real lack of natural depth there. To fix this, United have been looking at wingers in this window. Lille star Jadon Sancho is apparently on the radar. Compared to former Lille star Eden Hazard as a graceful, creative wide option able to dribble and beat a man, Sancho is one of League One's biggest talents and a serious option for United on their right flank. Unfortunately, the French outfit are refusing to let him leave. Lille will not let Jadon Sancho leave today. Transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano has posted on X, formerly Twitter, position clear despite links with Manchester United. In Forforto's opinion, Sancho is due a step up. United may not come back in for him, though. Any move for the Kosovan would have likely been an opportunity more than anything planned for longer, and targets may well have shifted by the next time they look for a winger. Sancho is valued at €25 million by Transfermarkt. His contract runs until 2026. It looks as though Jadon Sancho is going to be the protagonist of deadline day, with Chelsea in talks to sign the Manchester United winger. Jadon Sancho is closing in on an Old Trafford exit, with Premier League rivals Chelsea showing an interest. The 24-year-old has received offers from both Juventus and Chelsea this summer, although Juventus' interest in Sancho has slowed significantly ahead of Friday's 11 p.m. deadline. Chelsea are now in pole position to land Sancho, who joined United for £73 million in 2021. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Chelsea have submitted an official loan offer for Sancho on deadline day. There are just hours remaining for United and Chelsea to reach an agreement before the window slams shut. Erik ten Hag's stance on Jadon Sancho leaving. Sancho fell out with ten Hag over his lack of minutes last season, and as a result he was loaned out to Borussia Dortmund. On his return to the club, it seemed as though Sancho and ten Hag had mended their rift, but the Dutchman has left Sancho out of both Premier League matchday squads so far this season. Ten Hag offered an update on Sancho's future ahead of this Sunday's clash against Liverpool, where he insisted he is happy to keep hold of him this season. However, The Telegraph's Jason Burt reports that ten Hag would prefer Sancho to leave. United are said to be relaxed as to whether Sancho stays or goes at present, although manager Erik ten Hag would prefer the winger to leave, Burt wrote. Man United have monitored Jadon Sancho. As Sancho inches closer to joining Chelsea, United have already identified a potential replacement. United have explored a deadline day deal for Carney Chukwuemeka during their talks with Chelsea over Sancho, but the Red Devils have reportedly also got their eyes on a winger who could replace Sancho. Alfredo Padula reports that United have sounded out Jadon Sancho, who plays on the right wing for League One side Lille. The report adds that Atalanta and Premier League side Fulham have also shown interest, and that a potential deal will depend on Lille's demands for the 25-year-old. Fabrizio Romano confirmed Zagrova's links to United, but insists that Lille will not let the winger leave this summer. Man Utd are one of the few Premier League clubs who are very active on transfer deadline day, unlike what one would have imagined. Most of it has to do with the exit of Jadon Sancho, with Chelsea advancing in negotiations. There are talks of a possible swap deal involving Raheem Sterling, but it looks like in the past few hours, the Red Devils have set their sight on another Chelsea player. As per Sky Sports journalist Dharmesh Sheth, Man Utd are exploring a late, standalone deal to sign Blues midfielder Carney Chukwuemeka. The Aston Villa Academy graduate had his moments in a Blues jersey last season but doesn't feature in Enzo Maresca's plans for the current campaign. Man Utd are looking to take advantage of this situation and sign him. The £100,000 a week versatile star, who can effectively play in the CM and AM roles, was one of the most highly rated prospects when he was in Aston Villa's academy. His career has fallen off slightly due to injuries and a lack of game time at Chelsea where competition is immense. The Stamford Bridge side have a number of players on the exit ramp ahead of the 11 p.m. deadline and Chukwuemeka is just one of them. Man Utd have made it clear that they are looking at the 20-year-old on a standalone deal and not as a part of the Sancho operation. It still doesn't make sense why Man Utd want Chukwuemeka or where he would even play. The likes of Christian Eriksen are struggling to get game time in Erik ten Hag's setup, so how would this Chelsea youngster benefit from this move? The Red Devils would be better off not making this investment unless they think this is an investment for the future. Chukwuemeka is definitely talented, but Man Utd are well staffed in this position. Regardless, the next few hours will give a clearer picture on the possibility of this transfer happening. Despite reports emerging suggesting Raheem Sterling could be off to either Arsenal or Manchester United in the remaining hours of the transfer window, Sky Sports' Kava Solhekel has revealed that he believes it's a real possibility that the player could remain at Chelsea. Sterling has been exiled from training with the Blues and Enzo Maresca, and was told that he should search for a new club last week. However, with the complications surrounding his contractual situation at Stamford Bridge, it's growing ever more likely that no such deal will materialize, and that he'll be left in the cold for the next 6 months. Sterling potentially staying at Chelsea. The winger is on £300,000 a week. Chelsea winger Raheem Sterling in action. After it being made clear to the player that Sterling will not be part of Maresca's plans for the new campaign, the West London outfit have been desperately offering the England international to a number of Premier League clubs. A swap deal with United involving Jadon Sancho had been touted as a possibility, while earlier today it was mooted that the Chelsea winger will either remain at Stamford Bridge or complete a switch to Arsenal. However, journalist Solhekel has revealed that he has heard conflicting reports, that it is now a distinct possibility that Sterling will be stuck at Cobham for the foreseeable future. Chelsea close to signing Sancho. The outcasted winger wants to join the Blues. While the proposed exchange deal involving Sterling doesn't appear likely at this stage, Chelsea are expected to strike a deal with United for Sancho. Like the 29-year-old former Liverpool man, Sancho has also been ostracized, with Erik ten Hag falling out with the 24-year-old and thus freezing him out of his squad. However, unlike Sterling, the former Borussia Dortmund star is likely to find a move before the clock strikes 11, with Chelsea closing in on securing his signature. The wide man will join a loaded cohort of attacking players at Stamford Bridge, expected to compete for a starting berth alongside the likes of Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto and Noni Madueke. Newcastle United are reportedly likely to make a deadline day signing as talks with Nottingham Forest over Anthony Elanga are progressing quickly. After missing out on Crystal Palace and England star Mark Gahey, a report on Thursday evening claimed Newcastle United are unlikely to make another signing before the transfer window closes on Friday night. However, Newcastle are being linked with potential signings and could pull off a surprise on deadline day. While the Magpies weigh up a move to sign Man City centre midfielder Matheus Nunes, they are also considering signing Elanga. Newcastle were heavily linked with Elanga earlier this summer, but talk over this proposed transfer had gone quiet in recent weeks. The Sweden international left Manchester United to join Nottingham Forest last summer for around £15 million. He enjoyed a brilliant debut season as he grabbed 5 goals and 9 assists in the Premier League. A report on Friday afternoon from Football Insider claimed Newcastle are plotting a late swoop to sign Elanga, who could replace Miguel Almiron. The report claimed Forest are reluctant to see a key player leave at this late stage. Sources say any move to sign a new right winger before the 11 p.m. deadline will hinge on whether Miguel Almiron can be moved on first. The Paraguayan could still leave St. James's Park in the closing stages of the window amid links to Fulham, and his exit would force Newcastle's hand in the market. Signing a winger had been a priority for Newcastle this summer, but they must get Almiron off the books before they can explore a deal. However, TalkSport are of the understanding that Elanga's proposed move to Newcastle is likely to be completed, and Man Utd will benefit from this deal. The report explained. TalkSport understands that Newcastle United are back in for Anthony Elanga, and the deal is progressing quickly and is likely to be completed before the deadline closes this evening. Nottingham Forest want £35 million for the Swedish international, and talks between the two clubs are moving towards a successful conclusion. The Magpies tried to sign Elanga earlier in the transfer window when they were trying to sort out their PSR situation. In the end, Elliot Anderson joined Forest and Odysseus Vlachodimos joined the Toon, although he could be loaned out already. Should Elanga join Newcastle, Manchester United would be entitled to a sell-on fee.